Hello everyone, welcome to Top Secret. If someone don't know about you, they will definitely ask, who are you? Then you would say your name, and they would definitely ask, what are you doing? The world recognizes you according to what you are doing for live. So as Top Secret, we decided to aware you about how to face an interview correctly. For that, we invited very experienced person regarding this field. Senior Lecturer of University of Technology and Open Universities, Senior Lecturer of Educational and Research Institute, and also Head of CSR and Human Resources, Mr. Prabodh Lokuge.
Hi.
Welcome to our program.
Hi, Mr. Rahul.
We have informed that our interview days in near future. Then, what should we do?
Yes, Mr. Rahul, if you are invited for an interview by any organization, that will be the most crucial day, right? You feel somewhat nervous and you will be flabbergasted and you will be very confused what you are going to do, right? I must say, first you must realize the need and the necessity of this occasion. Therefore, you should get ready to face the interview. What can we do in order to ready for the interview? It's a very important part. In order to ready, I suggest you what you must do first is to observe some information about the organization which you are going to face the interview. And there are so many arrangements to do, such as dressing and grooming, and you have to collect your testimonials and certificates too. But first and foremost, you must know something about your organization and what the job duties are.
What should we wear for the interview? Can't I dress the most beautiful dress I have or my favorite one?
Yes, of course, that is a critical point, very, very critical and serious point, because even though having a lot of qualifications, being a candidate, if that candidate is very upset in the first impression, the entire interview will be dull and lost. Therefore, what you should do is, you must get ready with an appropriate dress code.
We can see it now.
Yeah.
You can describe.
Yeah, then if we recommend, first time I would like to talk about gentlemen, because the gentlemen do not pay big attention for the dress code as much ladies pay. Then dress code, when you talk about the dress code of gentlemen, I suggest gentlemen should wear long sleeve shirt, compulsorily a long sleeve shirt and a tie. Shirt, when you talk about the shirt, it should be light color and it should be long sleeve one. It should not have any design. I suggest you to wear a plain color or light color shirt. If there is a design, there may be very light checks design or lineups. And I suggest you to wear a tie. The length of the tie must not exceed the below edge of your belt, and it should be above the belt, the below edge of the belt, but should not be much shorter and should not be much broader. I suggest you to wear a tie pin if it's possible, and you must wear necessary ornaments like wristwatch. Even when you talk about the wristwatch, it should not be a classic, somewhat simple wristwatch. It should be a professional one. And other things that we must talk about, the trousers should be very dark, just opposite color of the shirt, and it should be matched with the tie. As well as your shoes should be very dark or black. I suggest you to wear the black. And if you talk about the other groomings, groomings of the gentlemen is very important, especially for hair. And if you wear your mustache and beard, if you are very, very interesting, you must short it, and there should be lineup of your mustache and beard. I suggest you to shave it fully. Okay. The next thing is about the ladies. Ladies are much expert. They will laugh at us even because that they are very expert of dressing and grooming, but they hesitate of and they neglect when they face an interview, because they give the priority for the beauty rather than the professional feelings. Therefore, I suggest ladies, if a lady, the appropriate dress code to wear is the overall coat with the skirt, either skirt or trouser. the same color or tone should be with the dress code, that means overall and the trouser or the skirt. You can wear a light color jacket inside of the overall. The sleeve of the jacket better if it goes just above the sleeve of the coat. Then I suggest them to wear the dress code. They make the hair very tightly and neatly, applying hair pins and sometimes hair sprays, hair gels. And also, if they wear ornaments, the most important thing for ladies is they love to wear jewelries. Much more jewelries make you less marks. Therefore, should not wear much more very big jewelries, and size should be very tiny. I recommend you to wear earrings, and if you are married, a ring, that will be enough. Because there is a hygiene problem when you are recruited for the companies or the institutions which the hygiene is concerned, like hospitality industry and the health industry. Wearing more ornaments will make you disqualified. And you must apply, when you talk about the dressing and grooming, we must talk about the essential makeups, right? Then in order to get rid from the impression that you have been tired, you may apply necessary makeup, and you may apply sometime light color lipstick. Should never be very dark color, unpleasant lipsticks and cutex maybe. Perfumes may make you a good impression if you can apply, because it can be sweating and make an unpleasant feeling. And dressing, when you talk about the dressing and grooming, your certificate file and what you are carrying as your bags may be entitled for your dressing and grooming. It should be an appropriate baggage, and it should never be a traveling bag. It should be a professional briefcase or a bag, and certificates must be inserted into a certificate file or certificate album.
Think today is our interview day. We are going to enter the interview premises. Then should we be serious now?
Yes, of course. It will be another point that you can be confused and you ignore much. As soon you enter from the premises where the interview is conducted, as soon you enter from the gate, you must be very, very patient and mindful, should be very conscious. Because some people are speaking over the phone and walking here and there, and they pass the reception where the interview is conducted.
Will they watch us?
Yes, they will be watching. Sometimes the modern interview environmental of organizations, they might fix the spy cameras and CCTV cameras. Therefore, you should pay the attention on that. Then when you enter from the premises, you must directly go toward the reception area where you can obtain the information about the interview, and you must report the place. And
that is the first thing we should do, no?
Yeah, that should be, because that if you are delayed to report the place, they will suppose that you are not punctual.
Okay, our role model Imasha is coming to the interview premises now.
Yeah, good morning ma'am. Can I help you?
I have an interview.
Yeah, can I have your letter?
Sure. Thank you. Can I be refreshed? Where's the
Yeah.
washroom?
You may, it is there.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a very nice point. She's mindful and she seeks the opportunity to get a refresh. Therefore, she knows that she must be refreshed when you are traveling when you are traveling with public transport. You might be upset with the tired journey. Therefore, it's better to have a refresh. Then you must ask the interview area where the washrooms are, and you must go there. If you can manage the time, you must go there and must have a light wash, and if you have a face towel, you can blot your face and apply perfumes and can refresh and rearrange your hair. Now you are confident enough, because that if you are not well and if you feel tired, you will never be confident enough. That is why you must refresh in order to be confidentful. And the next thing that you must careful is the sitting posture at the lobby area. you should not stretch your legs and should not talking with others, then you must be very calm and try to keep your arms on your lap and should not stretch the legs and be very patiently wait until your name is called.
Our next role model, Kavi, is coming to interview now, but she got late already.
I'm for late, may I'm for interview.
Yeah, you are so late. Hurry up, go in. Yes. Hurry up.
She is also excited. What will happen now?
Yes, as soon you feel that you are very late, you make upset yourself and you are with the guilty mind. Therefore, you will be hurry and upset minded. You will be lethargic and nervous. Therefore, one upset make the rest of things upset. Therefore, you will be very panicked at the occasion and you can't manage even your feelings, right? This is what happened. That is why I told you to be very punctual and come as early as possible. Then, when you enter from the door, it is better to seek permission first in order to build your impression and image, because the dressing and grooming as well as your voice and walking will build your image and personality. Therefore, the IPS, interpersonal skill, is a critical and important point of a candidate when you are recruited as a professional. How can we manage our interpersonal skill? As soon you open the door, you must seek permission.
Okay, firstly, Imalshi is going to the interview room. Let's see how she enters the room.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir, may I come in?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. May I sit?
Yes, you may sit.
Thank you.
You can see that she gets the permission before she enters and very patiently closes the door and she walks toward the interview table. It's very important to greet because you can show your personality in voice and walking as well as dressing and grooming. Then you must seek permission and greet. As soon you reach toward the interview table, you must greet them, saying good morning if it's in the morning, and should salute them by either shaking hand or bow your head. Right? If it's so, the interview board will never be the mute, because that sometime interview board will be deaf and they will never care you that you arrived to the place to check whether you are capable in IPS, interpersonal skill. And if you are not invited to be seated, your duty is to get the permission to be seated. You can ask, may I sit?
Then she is going to sit there. Is there any right way to do that?
Yes, sitting posture is also very important. It is a point where the interview board, which the interview board consider much. You must sit on your chair as full seat and should maintain your bust and the posture. I suggest you to be with 120 degree leaning to the chair. It is very important and should try not to keep your arms and limbs on the table, and you better to keep your limbs on your lap, because if you keep the limbs on the table, it is just like a kneeling posture. Therefore, you should try to keep your certificate file on your lap, and please decorate your face with a nice smile and should maintain the eye contact with the person who asked the questions.
This is a common interview question in many interviews as the first question. Tell me about yourself. Then,
may I know your good name?
My name is Pamudi Hansamali. My friends call me Pamu.
Okay.
If you like, you can call me Pamu.
Okay, Pamu, it's very nice name.
how should we start?
Yes, this is just like an opportunity to giving a spoon to serve yourself at a buffet, right? If you get the spoon, you can serve yourself. If you don't serve yourself, who will serve you? Therefore, take the maximum and optimum advantage of of that question. You may start off expressing everything and anything about yourself. You may start with the basic description about your native place, where you came from, and your age, as well as the place you studied, and even about your hobbies, family members, what your parent and who are they and what they are, as well as your siblings, what they are doing, and also who are they, right? As an extent for your basic description, you can say about your hobbies. I suggest you, when you talk about your hobbies, it can be an added advantage to your job. You always must follow the hobbies which are related to your jobs. Therefore, if you can add something about your hobby which can be positively add you marks, you may say something about your hobbies. For an example, during my leisure time, I used to browse internet and do marketings, right? I like to make posts, which is very important for the public. It will be an added advantage if you are recruited as an executive of marketing. And I suggest you to say even your goal or the job ambition must be related to the post you have applied. Otherwise, if it is not tally, the interview board will suppose that the chance or the opportunity that you are given will be lost. That means that you will resign or leave the job very soon. As an extended your speech of your personal description, you can say about your values. You must come very fast to your values, because it is the point where you can market yourself. Therefore, you can start with the priority basis. If you are an employee of an organization, if you have already taken an appointment or an assignment of a job, you must say that currently I am working at this place. At such occasion, that the interview board will make you some cross questions like, why are you leaving this place? Therefore, you must have a good answer, reasonable answer for that also. Then you may say about your past experience and the jobs and the titles, the designations you have done early, and the job duties you have already done and the experience deal with. And the next thing is that you can say about your professional qualifications as the third factor of your description. The professional courses you have followed related to this job and the contents of the courses that can be helpful to the job. As the fourth point, you can say about your higher educational qualifications like university degrees and bachelors and HNDs too. Then advanced levels and ordinary level school education you may say and include to the description. As the last point, you must say your soft skills and extracurricular activities that you have done and you are dealing with this. Still, you may engage in social services and you might have borne so many responsibilities related to the leadership, teamwork, and there are so many professional characteristics we must deal with. Therefore, those are the points. There may be the qualifications, there may be qualification which you can't prove with the certificates, but if you have such qualification, you should not hesitate to say so. Therefore, you must explain those things with evidence that I have been working in this type of social capacities and personal capacities. You must extend your speech too. Think about yourself.
I attended to Anura Devi Girls College and did my A-levels there.
Okay.
My mother is Chiromi Malkanti. She is a housewife. And my father is Mr. Jagat Kumar. He is a businessman. After doing A-levels, I improved my professional skills.
Okay.
I did a professional English course and a computer operating diploma and also a HR and general management course in IGM. And I scored 7.5 doing IELTS.
Okay.
And in my leisure time, I would like to listen to music.
Okay.
If they ask, what are the strengths you have? Can't I say, I can lift up to 200 pounds in the gym? Isn't it fine?
Yes, you must understand what the content of the question and the real meaning of the question. Strengths refers to your values and what make you more valuable to an organization or to the job. Therefore, you must say the capabilities as well as the qualifications that you have. If those are unmatched, you must present it very surely, because that your strengths make you more and added marks, because the basic qualifications which are listed and published on the advertisement are with the all candidates who have already applied, and therefore the interview board expect something extraordinary rather than the other candidates. Therefore, you must say your extraordinary values, strengths, special qualities and characteristics. For an example, I am a hard worker. I can work hard even in my household works. I used to get up early in the morning. I am the one who support my father's business, and I have this experience. I have touched these areas. Therefore, if I am recruited to your organization, I can deal with those job duties very comfortably than others. Therefore, you must show that you are very confident enough and you have so many strengths. As an extra example, I can suggest you, if you have language skill, if you have the experience of doing a job, if you have special knowledge about the job that you are going to assign, you must express as their strengths. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. You too might have such weaknesses as well as the strengths. What are your special strengths, values?
My professional skills and my self-confidence, and also my communicative skills are my strength.
For the question, what are the weaknesses you have? Can't I say, I don't have any weaknesses, I am a good person? Can't I say?
Yes, a very, very sensitive point, which most of candidates with unsure feelings and uncertainty, and they are doubtful with this question. If I say something about my weak points, it will be a disqualification, maybe a disqualification to get the job. You must determine that there is no one in this world which doesn't have any weak point. If I talk about myself, there may be thousands of weak points. Therefore, the weak point is not the having weak point. Weak point is the inability to understand what your weak points are. Therefore, if you can realize what your weak points are, you can surely overcome the situation and mitigate, minimize the weak points. Therefore, you must clearly understand what your weak points are, and you must say which steps you have already taken to eliminate those weak points. Therefore, saying about your weak points will never be a disqualification. The disqualification or the failure is that if you have never taken any step or action to mitigate those weak points, it will be a mistake. Therefore, you should not be afraid of saying about your mistakes, but you should say the steps that you have taken to overcome those. For an example, if you talk about weak points, you might be somewhat poor in speaking in a second language like English. You may say that I am somewhat poor in speaking in English, but nowadays I am following an English program. I am somewhat somewhat late for doing some work, but now I am trying to get up early and adjust and organize my works to be punctual. I have understood the need of being punctual. Therefore, you must say the steps you have taken. Another example, I don't have much qualifications in professional studies. Therefore, nowadays I am weak in IT knowledge. Therefore, I am studying information technology and computer learning operating course nowadays. Those are the examples that we can express out.
Me.
As a weak point?
Yes, it is the weak point I have.
I get upset when someone blames me.
Okay, if it is a weak point, you must know how to recover it. Then how do you recover?
I try to tolerate. I bear it in patience.
Okay.
If they would ask, where will you see in 5 years? Hey, I am not an astrologist. I can't say like that.
Yes, it means that the company doesn't expect you a forecast about your life, because that life is not sure. It is not something a thing that which can be organized and perfectly planned, but you must have a real job objective or a goal. If you don't have any objective or a desire, you will never walk on a path. Therefore, you must have clearly understood what your track and where I must be in my future. Therefore, if you have a job goal, you must be a person who organizes your entire future. That is what company expects from us. Whether you have a clear path, whether you have a clear ambition, and whether you have a desire of working in this field, and giving you an opportunity to work in the organization, it will be a loss to the company if you leave the company. That's a problem. That is why they ask, where will you see yourself after 5 years? You must try to say a senior administrative level of the same sector. You must have a goal. If you are selected, if you are taken in as an administrative assistant to our company, where will you see yourself after 5 years?
I will be a senior administrative executive.
Okay.
And then I will be a senior manager.
Okay, good.
Next into question, why you need this job? What a silly question, no? I want a job because I want money, isn't it?
Yes, it means that company wants to, or the organization wants to understand whether you need this job, the value of the jobs to your life as well as your value to the company. Therefore, you must try to say that the organization or the job is very important to your life. Therefore, you must say, for an example, I need to take care of my family, I need to look after my parent. If you have youngsters and younger siblings, I have to teach my youngsters, I have to be independent. Therefore, I need this job, and this you may add something to your answer. For an example, this is my dream, this was my dream even in my childhood. Therefore, if I can get this opportunity, it will be a fond of it, will be an amazing opportunity in my life. Therefore, you must say that this is very important to my life. Okay. If you want a job, why do you want a job?
I want to do something by what I have learned this far.
Okay.
And the most important thing is I want to treat my parents, look after them.
Good.
If they ask, are you ready to work in long hours? If I said yes, will they keep me in the whole night in the office?
Yes, indirectly the organization tries to check whether you are a hard worker and the intention, the interest, and whether you are an enthusiastic person, whether you are interested to do the job. Sometimes some people can't bear up the pressure up situation. The organization, if it is a private organization, their main aim of earning profit. Therefore, people who are with hard working ability will be appreciated and expected. Therefore, the strength, sometimes the company will be a neutral environment. There will be a neutral environment in the organization. But even at a very critical location, the people who are working in such organization must be able to bear such a critical location. Even though there is a hard working location, you must be able and ready. You must not leave when there is a pressure up and there is a big burden of work. That is why they ask, are you ready? You must be positive thinker. Therefore, the attitude is the most important thing. Sometimes the company will be with a relaxed environment, but they will check what your attitude, whether you are ready to work long hours. That means your commitment. Okay.
Can you work more hours if?
Yes, if you have to do, sometimes we have to work more than 8 day schedules, sometimes until 7 p.m. in the night. Are you ready to work, and do you have the experience of hard working? Okay.
I don't care about the hours. I am much dedicated to my work.
What do you know about our company? We already prepared for this question.
Yes.
So our answer should be,
yes, it should be another supportive answer to check whether this job is very important to you. If you are interested to this job, if you are an organized person, if you are a person who organizes your work before you do something, you must have already inspected and gone through about the company, whether this company has a lot of branches and what the capacity, which product and services do they make, and you must know if there is a very big history and which the year, what the year which the company was established, and the founders and the pioneers of the company, and everything and anything, even the market share, those will be much appropriate to express at the interview. These answers will make you additional points and marks. If you like to work in our company, you might have some knowledge about our company. Do you know something about our company?
Yes, I know that you are a reputed company,
Okay.
which has 25 branches all around the Sri Lanka.
Correct.
And also you have established this company 35 years ago.
How do you manage your tension? That means this job will give me tension, no?
Of course, there is no job which doesn't have work burden. Every and each work. The attitude is the most important thing, how you look at the job. Therefore, you must be able to say that I will be okay, because that if you are a positive thinker, if you are not lethargic, if you are not hesitative, you may be able to work with any difficult situation. You should show that you are a person who can be adapted to the situation, to show your professional quality. Imitation and adaptation is very important thing. Even during very pressure up and tensionful situation, if you can adjust with the situation, you will be a successful character. Therefore, you may say that I will be somewhat difficult in the first phase, then I will be gradually adapted to the situation. Step by step, I can be adapted to the situation. If there is anything that I can't handle, as I am a team player, I can get the help of others. Then you may express such. Therefore, you can show that you are a team member. With your teamwork ability, you can get the help of others and can manage the work. And I am very initiative and drive. I can imitate and adapt to the technology, looking at the people who are doing it very as the experts. Therefore, imitation is one of my strengths. Therefore, I can apply to overcome such situations. During the month ends and the year ends, as well as some weekends too, it will be very pressure up in our work environment. Sometimes some people can't bear it. The tension is very high. Do you think that you will be able to bear up this?
I think as it is my job, I will have to handle all things and sacrifice myself for those things.
Okay.
And also, how to answer, how do you manage your duties?
Of course, it will be another perspective and the point of view your company or the organization think about for your capability. You may say that I have followed such professional courses related to this field, then I can use my knowledge to implement the jobs. And you may say that I can ask from the people who are expert in this job, and I will manage with the knowledge of my superiors. I can follow the guidelines of the company SOPs, then I will try to do my level best when I am assigned to the job. Why are you late?
Sorry, I'm explaining Sinhala.
Okay, you may explain. Mukada parak wenna hetuwa.
Kavi was not punctual, and now she asks, can I speak in my mother tongue? But this interview is going on English medium. What will happen?
Yes, it doesn't matter. You must understand what the priority is. If you have a lot of things to express at the interview, you must not make your language barrier as a point that you can get negative marks. If there is any opportunity to market yourself, if the language is a barrier to that, you must give up the language. Therefore, you should get the opportunity to speak in mother tongue too. Only if the mother tongue can be understood by the interview board. Therefore, you must try to express your values in your mother tongue too. But what you must be very careful to recover the opportunity, because as soon you express those things in your mother tongue, you must return to the English language as much as possible.
How much salary do you expect? Wow, it's the time to tell me my dream salary, isn't it?
No, you must be very tactical and very careful at this occasion, because sometime when you say something, some amount which the company doesn't expect you to give, it will be a disadvantage. Therefore, if you need this job and if you are with much qualification, you have the ability to market yourself and demand yourself. But the thing is that if you don't have much experience and qualification, you must get the opportunity. Therefore, you must try to avoid from giving an answer for such questions. You may say that any reasonable amount for my values and my qualification. If the company or the organization, if the interview board forces you to say an amount again and again, you must try to be tactical to give an answer. You must have understood the average salary which an organization can pay to the job title that you are going to assign. Therefore, you may say an average salary. As soon you express the amount, you may say that I am not dependable on my salary. I am not dependent on my salary. I can be adjustable and I can negotiate. I am a very negotiable character. My main aim is my main aim is doing a job, because this is my dream job. You may say that.
I think my company will offer me a good salary with regarding to my qualifications.
Okay.
Will you leave this job for go abroad? Pamu has a plan to go abroad. If she tells the truth, what will happen?
I don't suggest you to say a lie. At such occasion, you must be tactical not to express, because that an organization will be afraid, because that their duty, their aim is to retain a person on certain job. If you are trained by them, your leaving of the organization will be a greater loss. Therefore, if there is any occasion, if the organization asks you whether you are leaving the job, since you have an ambition, since you have done IELTS, there are evidence that you to prove that you will leave the job. Therefore, you must say that, yet I had a dream of leaving abroad. I will retain in this job for a certain period to obtain an experience. It will be helpful for my career, and it will be another additional advantage when I leave abroad for doing a job. Surely I can retain for a certain period, such as 4 years or 5 years. You might tell the truth, and it will be a distinct advantage to give you the opportunity, because that you are very trustworthy. Have a hope and ambition to migrate abroad.
Yes.
Do you have?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Okay. Then, if you are afforded this job, will you leave this job for going New Zealand? No.
As it is my ambition, I had the ambition to go abroad and live there since my childhood. But I would like to work in this company for 4 years.
Now the interview has just finished. We are going to leave the place. So how should we say goodbye to them?
Yes, the leaving point is the point that you can seal your impression. We used to say seal your impression even at the last moment. Therefore, if you have if you are a doubtable candidate, if you are not selected yet, this is the last opportunity to recover your mistakes. Therefore, please take the last chance, the last opportunity, last moment of the interview to make a good image about you by the interview board. Therefore, at the leaving point, you must, when the interview board signs you that your interview is over, they might say you that, okay, we will inform you later, and returning your files, certificate files toward you. You must be very patient to thank them. Without, before you stand up, you being on the seat that you were, you must express your gratitude to the interview board, since you were given an opportunity to face the interview. You may say, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to face the interview, because facing an interview is a very important thing for my life. It is also an experience. I will do my level best if I am assigned for this job. We will inform you later. Probably, if you are selected, we will inform you later.
Okay, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
After you drag your chair and push the chair toward the interview table, you may say, while shaking hand, it means salutation, thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am. It means that you have to pay thanks twice. being at the seat. Thank you very much for this opportunity. After standing up, shaking hand, thank you sir, thank you ma'am, with nice smile. And should not be hurried to leave the place. Patiently you can leave out from the place and might close the door very patiently.
Kavi, she was not punctual, but let's see how she recovers that.
Extremely sorry for my delay. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Okay, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course, even though she was late and flabbergasted in the beginning, she is somewhat successful enough to recover herself. I think that she has been somewhat tranquil now. She is very calm. Now she expressed her failure and fault and begged the excuse for the mistakes, and finally she finishes the interview very nicely, and she expressed the thank and shake hand, that means salute to the interview board, and also she leaves the place very patiently. I think that it is a recovery of her position.
Now let's see how Vishmila leaves the place.
Okay, we will inform you later whether you are selected or not. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, it is very upset because that even though she has started the interview very nicely in the beginning, she forgets at the last moment. She's very hurry. She's with very hurry to leave the place. Then she pushed the chair back, and she pushes the chair back, and she goes out with hurry. And it makes a very big damage to her impression, because the attitude is very important. You must prepare a place which facilitate for the next comer to sit very comfortably. Therefore, the interview board will mind that you don't care about your attitude and others. Therefore, you must try not to do such way.
So, do you have anything to say? It is the time for that.
Yes, I beg you, I request you as your candidate, because the job is very important thing for our life. Therefore, you must not leave at least a simple point, dressing and grooming, voice and walking, everything. Getting ready for the interview, it is also very important as we discussed. The next thing is that the behavior is very important. How you sit on the lobby, in the lobby area, you should not talk each other. You should not get the feedback from the early comers for the interview, what happened inside of, because that if you get and talk to the interview people who already faced the interview board and the organization will suppose that it is not a good quality. Therefore, you should try to be very silent and patient. You must be patient enough to go inside until your turn is arrived.
Could you please tell me how should we arrange our certificate file?
Very important fact, because that when you have a lot of certificates, if you are not with the correct order, if you have never organized your certificate file in a correct order, the interview board will lose the time, and you might get a disadvantage, because they will pay on the certificates which are not very important. Therefore, you must arrange it on priority basis. Most important certificates should be very first. Therefore, I suggest you to attach your letter, your call for interview, and your identity on the left side of your certificate file. And the next point, your birth certificate and school leaving certificates, as well as the testimonials or character certificates, can be arranged. Then, to prove your qualifications, you can attach the appointment letters as well as the experience letters from the organizations you got, and the professional qualifications. If you have any professional qualification based certificate, it should be the next one just after the testimonial. Then higher educational certificate can be attached to the file. Then the co-curricular activities should be indicated. Therefore, the related certificate for your extracurricular activities can be arranged on your certificate, in your certificate file, as the last point of your certificate file.
Is there anything else than the certificate file?
Of course, if you are a graduate, or if you have a master degree or postgraduate or a master, you might have already prepared a thesis or dissertation. You must not forget to carry the dissertation or the certificate related to the dissertation or the research. because some organization expect you whether you have done any publication or research, and if you can maintain a value album which the certificate doesn't show, if you have the photograph about the important events of your life which can be related to the job, you can prepare a value album to carry with your certificate file. The dissertation, publication and value album can be accompanied with you as well as your certificate file. Okay.
Today we talked about how to face the most important day in your life. I think you got something from us. So thank you, Mr. Prabodha, for participating, and thank you all. Let's meet in a new program very quickly. Thank you.